friends, really not much to say before we dive into this. Just finished episode 9, Resonance. We're about to dive into episode 10. It is super duper intense. Well, I'm just about to dive into it. Obviously, I've watched them back to back. These reactions are a week apart. But last episode was crazy intense. Just, oh my gosh, just the way that ended and just is intense. But it looks like, based upon the brief preview we got at the end of last episode, this whole episode is going to be about him playing and the issues he dealt with this and his fears and all that jazz. Maybe the aftermath of him playing, maybe not, but I very doubt he's going to get first place. And even, and to be honest, Kiori really didn't expect Kosei to get first place. She was like, that's not the goal. She wants to get him back out there and maybe even encouraged by those other two pianists. We'll see what happens. My leg's itchy. Anyway, there's really not much else to say. I totally forgot to say this last time, though. If you're following along for the first time on YouTube, again, this is a YouTube edit version where I've cut out the sound and partial image just to keep copyright monsters at bay, which does work, by the way. If you click the link below, there's a visual link so you can see the full reaction of the episode. But if you're going to follow along via YouTube, there is a countdown. You can't miss it. And then we're going to dive into the episode. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Ooh, look at the quality there. Where did I put my glasses? Yeah. That's Watery's ultimate life goal. Oh, because he lost that game? Oh, interesting. He's right. I like how Watery supports him. Nice. I like how Watery supports him his own watering way. Gosh, Watery. Sometimes he just makes me so irritated because he's such a lech. And then sometimes he's such a... Anyway. He's kind of a reminder that even the big false bravado jerks that you meet, there's always another layer to them. Or, like, the players, there's always something going on. Doesn't mean that... So Watery doesn't have, like, this big, he's not secretly insecure. But there's more layers to him than meets the eye. Even though, for the most part, probably the only ones who really kind of see that are... I mean, that's why I think Kosei kind of defends him sometimes to Tsubuki. Anyway, that was a really good pep talk. This is such a bop. I love it. I still haven't watched the music video yet. curious, and you don't have to tell me what it changes into, but I'm curious to see if the second half of the season will have a different intro. Oh my gosh, even I can tell he's rushing. It is. He always... I mean, that's kind of what happens when you're nervous. You always speed up and you get rough. His instinct, it's fight or flight, and you're like flying through it, and it only gets... And of course, the faster you go, the worse you get. Though according to Tuesday, if you can play it slowly, you can play it fast. Quickly. Sorry. I love how they do use a water effect, because the water does... It feels like he's drowning. Does... Every time he's about to get in control, this demon version of his mom just shows... Oh my gosh, look at that! Definitely taking a page out of those, like, Inuyasha and other creepy... You know what? I'm getting a bit more of a Ancient Magus Bride vibe here. I like how she can feel, like with Kaori, she can feel his pain. No, it's... Gosh. His head's not there, it's somewhere else. Gosh, this is so good. Like, awful for Kosei, but like beautifully animated. Oh my gosh. I love how she can sense it too, just like Hiyori. They are so similar. It's only the beginning. Oh, look. I guess a lot of people in there are musicians. He's like at peace with his death, with his drowning. I know they wanna play him at his best, but it's yeah. Oh my gosh! Now he's having a crisis. Like he accepted his death. That's not how I expect this to go. He gave up. He let himself get pulled under. Just drowned. Just gave up. Gave up. He puts too much pressure on himself. Comes back to her again. He's disqualified, but I'm questioning is, will he pull a page out of her book? Will he start over again? She knew he wouldn't win. But will he have the drive to move forward? Now, whose heartbeat is that? Play for him or play for... Oh, cool, we're getting a scene of when he was doing rehearsals. Were they there at the school all freaking night? Who lets the students stay at the school all night? Oh, that might be a really good thing or a really bad thing later on in the future. He's gonna play for her. Because there was a sobbing child pounding the keys. So just like with the girl, her emotions drive her. Kosei's emotions drive him too, and his mind do in a way. The way they did for her when he was little. Ruthless. What an episode, man. You wouldn't think piano playing would be this intense and this with a roller coaster of emotions, but yeah, good writing, y'all. Oh, I did love this, and I appreciate this even more. That when we saw the beginning, he was so down like this, looking at the keys, so focused on the piano and the music and the score and everything. But I like how a moment when he gets to be himself, there's moments where he gets to enjoy. With Tsubiki, with Watery, with her, he looks up. So it's not the score anymore, it's him. Is that his imagery? I like how... Oh my gosh. She's so perceptive. I don't know if this is like a girl thing or like a girl / musician thing. Yeah, he'll be disqualified. But this will change things for him. He got motivated by a cute girl. I love it. It's so much more than that, but it's so cute. It's so awesome how, again, in anime, it's so much about music. Is so beautifully visual. Gosh, the storylines, the music, but the visual. Like the visual. Oh my gosh, it's just her. Oh, they found his glasses. Yeah, they did that one. She's helping him breathe life back into his playing again. Oh my gosh, listen to how, like, how the violins come in now. Oh, snap bubble. Does she want him to be the metronome again? Oh, because if he's not the metronome anymore, she loses the image of him that she was into. Will she realize who he's visualizing? But I love how, so the beginning of last episode, I guess Emmy, when she was playing, you heard like percussion and guitar come in. But now it's just, well, now we've got just all strings. I know. But it's just, like, as he's playing, the violin starts accompanying him. Did I say that word right? And now we're like, even more of the strings have been added. Oh, his little cat version. So are we hearing the full piece now? It's a fascinating piece. And now she's being brought back to when he was little, when there was joy in his heart when he played. Man, that piece is a roller coaster, isn't it? In and of itself. It's probably why it was chosen for this arc. Blasted cherry blossoms, gotta love them. Shut up. It's a long piece. About 4 minutes, or 5 minutes of playing. They're so caught up in the fan forms. They're just like... I like how we're having the theme music in the back. I like how it's kind of edgy. Like he has like little chains on his pants. Resonance, yeah. Oh wait, that was last episode. What episode is this called? I can't remember. I just lost my Wi-Fi connection, so I'm hoping I don't ruin a moment. No, of course not. I think we're good. I think it kind of reached her. I don't know if she'll interpret it the way he wants her to, but... Oh my gosh, now she changed. The scenery I shared with you. Oh, shut up. So he was playing to reach Kiori, obviously. But I love that moment where his playing transformed his mom in his head. She's dead. He can't change her. But not necessarily what changed what she did to him or changed the facts about his childhood, but I guess we'll wait and see, but maybe seeing what good things did his mom give him, and not dwelling on the evil and the bad that can be changed, but I don't know. I'm babbling on now. This anime is just, it tells its story so well visually and with, this episode's called Light of Life. That's cute. But just such a beautiful job being, strong. Well, I don't remember. Did. No, she knows he did. Maybe. Like April. Look at her. She knows. Of course she knows. I'm expecting an after credit scene. He's in middle school. It's gonna happen. Mr. Mediocre. Wait, who is that? Wait, who is that? Did I miss something? Is she coming later on? Who is she? Who's the cutie pie next to her? That's coming back around for sure. Okay. What an absolute blast of an episode. And I've said this twice already, but I'll say it again. This show does a beautiful job of letting its visuals and its storyline, it's so strong. Like, as it on their own, they're so strong. But the music just adds to it. Which is funny because you would think that an anime about music would be, the music is really, really central, but everything else is kind of secondary and adds to that. But it's really not. This story is so intriguing and fun, and just the tools that they utilize this episode with the whole demonic version of his mom, and then the colors and the lack of colors, and just this, everything about this is just beautiful. Like I said, it's an opus. It's beautiful. It's so well animated. It's so well written. The music of it, I mean, I'm not a piano player, so if I knew the story better, if I knew the song better, I probably could have more to offer. But this is absolutely wonderful, and I mean, this is one of those animes that if you have a friend who's like a huge, most people who are actually musicians actually are secretly anime lovers, actually, because we're just big, all stupid nerds. That's why. Even the most hardcore rock guy is a music nerd. I'm just saying. Some more so than others. I had people who knew pieces. I mean, I'm in high school. I didn't really pursue it that much. I liked music, and I knew more than the average person, but I wasn't someone who, like, I always had trouble with, like, identifying keys and figuring out if I was flat or sharp. I just had trouble with that. I'm just not good with, like, hearing it. I know sometimes I can hear it, I know something's wrong, but I don't always know what's wrong. But it is interesting how whenever you start getting nervous and messing up, you just go faster, which just makes it worse. That's true of everybody. Apparently all musicians have the fight or flight mode, and we just, like, fly through the piece when we freak out. That's true just across the board. Which doesn't really help anybody at all. But this is, I would say, anyway, back to what I said, if you have a friend who's a musician, who maybe just even isn't really into anime in general, then I would definitely use this to introduce them. And they may roll their eyes, like, really, an anime about music? But, like, no. You don't understand. It's so great, and I think for those of us, the animes that really stand the test of time, whether they came out in the 80s, or the 70s, or the 90s, it doesn't really matter. And there are some that we grew up with as childhood, that we liked when we were childhood, that maybe when we watched when we were adults, we're like, this doesn't hold the same water or weight anymore. And that's true of some of the shows that I've watched, not necessarily of anime. I'm sure there are certain things, like, I grew up with Pokemon and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I have no profound desire to go back and rewatch them. Not really. There's only really one anime I ever rewatch. And that's All in High School Host Club, because it is also a gem of an anime that I really wanted a second season for. Didn't happen. It had so much potential too, but it is nice sometimes when shows, and some animes do this, and and that's kind of the beauty of some of the nature and the frustration with the nature of some animes, is that it's only one season. That's all you're gonna get. There's never, maybe some OVAs, maybe a movie, maybe, but it's really just one season. There's really, either because there's no more material to work off of, or that's the purpose. It's a blurb. It's a story, and there's not many shows, at least in the U.S., that are like this. I think there was a murder mystery show called Harper's Island. It was purposely one season. It wasn't even a miniseries, which are usually just like 4 or 5 episodes that are kind of longish. It was, I think, 22 episodes, one season. That was all it was going to be. And I thought that was interesting. And it's fun for people to kind of follow multiple years of stories. But it's also fun, and it kind of allows it allows actors to explore other things if they do have, like, oh, here's a show, it's gonna be, that's it, 1 season, or 3 seasons, that's what we have planned, we're not going beyond that. Because it allows shows to end on hopefully a strong note, and hopefully on their terms. Sometimes shows do get canceled, but thankfully sometimes, depending on the show, they get a year's notice, like, hey, next season is going to be your last season, and it allows them to kind of prepare for that. I think Charmed got that. I think S.H.I.E.L.D. got that a little bit, which ended last week. I think I don't know if Smallville got canceled, or they were like, we're going to end it here. I'm not sure. I know technically Supernatural did not get canceled because everybody just decided it's time to put to bed a 15-year show. But in terms of shows that end on their terms, it is nice because it allows them to not stay beyond their welcome. Some shows, I think, or get filled with so much filler. I think most people's complaints about the ridiculousness of, which is why I'll never watch it probably, of One Piece and Naruto, is that it's just filled with filler. I'm not watching several years worth of cartoons. It's like I can't do it. That's why I'll never react to One Piece. I'll never react to Naruto or Shippuden or Boruto. It's not gonna happen. It's too much. I'll stick with my one seasoners. Anyway, I'm blabbering on too long. I know there's some other music animes out there. I think there's one called Euphonium that looked kind of funny, actually. So that one's on the queue or the list. Obviously, it's not next, but it is on the list to eventually get to it. And that's what the hope is for, at least with the Anime Thursday shows, is that I'm kind of looking for shows that are really maybe 1, maybe 2 seasons at a most. Whereas a lot of my main, depending on the series, I'm looking for, in terms of my secondary anime, I'm looking for a show, or I guess the primary anime, really. I'm looking for shows that are at least multiple seasons, at least 2, maybe 3. Whereas, correction, for Anime Thursdays, I would like shows that are just maybe 1 season, whether it's really... I'm kind of trying to go for really happy ones. I know this one kind of supposedly ends on a sad note, but it's still a full fun ride. I don't want to bother on too long, but again, this is just a beautiful anime. It is so well-rounded. It's so gorgeous. And every little detail in it, and this is true of many shows, when you watch them, you're like, you can just tell the people who work on it are just passionate about what they do. Just like in the anime, you can just tell when passion flows through them. And for the first time ever, we got to see for Kosei, passion flying through him. And because he's in love with his girl. And again, it's so much more than that. But it's not just he has a crush. She's bringing kind of life back into his life. Which obviously, I don't know if it's irony or not, but it looks a little sad that it's obviously that she's suffering from something. She has a lot of medicine. Whether or not it's the same thing, and gosh, if it's the same, don't tell me, but if it's the same freaking thing his mom went through, it's gonna be awful. But I think it's something to do with her heart, it seems like, which is awful. But we'll get to the sob fest, which I'm sure will happen later on. Again, solid episode. I can't. This is probably my favorite episode of the season so far. Last episode was my favorite episode of the season so far. Now this episode's come, and it's my favorite episode of the season so far because it is was so good. I loved it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies, and I'll see you next time.